go to ground like a breath falling clown, sigh out a silent scream, say today's the day I find a way to free you, Emily. How many nights and days will she remain this way? Is there a word I'm afraid to break her chain? Smile again with me. So she stays unaware of her cage, slow to the closing door. For the life she left lived with the love it needs, blue Emily. How many nights and days will she remain this way? Is there a word I'm afraid to break her chain? Smile again with me.
So I'm here with All Aboard Presents and Nick Austin. Thanks very much for joining us, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
So we're actually in Verda Houseboat at the moment, which is sort of a community area within Shoreham. Really unique venue. And I suppose the way All Aboard works is we go to locations that mean something to the artist. So why have you taken us here, Nick?
Well, I live up the road that way. I live in Mile Oak, where I did a gig here and I thought it was one of the best gigs I'd done. I really enjoyed it. It's got a really nice atmosphere here. And I love this area. I love the sea. I thought coming on a boat would be a nice kind of nod to that, I suppose. But yeah, mostly because of my kind of tie to the area, and I live with my partner just up the road. And I love this space. I think it suits the kind of the feel of my music.
I mean, how long have you sort of been based around this area as well?
I moved down when I was about 19. Giving away
Okay.
how old I am, so
Count the
quite a long
numbers.
time. Yeah. We might say how many decades that is. No, yeah, quite a long time. But I moved down honestly because I love the sea so much. I moved to Brighton because I watched that film Quadrophenia. And I was just like, I'll just move. I had no idea where I was going to go really, and I was just like, that's by the sea, and I like. I'm not like making music that fits that sort of thing, but I liked all the fashion and everything about Brighton really.
Just
So
fits your sort of vibe.
I just love it. It's years and years living here. I still love it. It's changed loads, Brighton, I think, but every time I walk around by the sea in Brighton or anywhere in around this area in Sussex, I just love it. And I think this is a bit of an out of the way area. It's not central Brighton. It's not something a lot of people would go maybe to Shoreham to where the houseboats are, but it's beautiful, especially when the sun's going down like this. And
We've nailed today, actually, haven't we?
yeah, right at the right time to do the recording.
Yes, we've had Nick actually play just before, played two of his songs, which we'll come on to later. But just for now, do you want to give everyone an idea of sort of you as an artist, what sort of style you play?
Cool. Yeah. It's I guess you call it. It's like folk music or singer-songwriter music. It's quite hard to put to find the right label, but I think folk is the closest thing. It's not like trad folk though. I write my own songs, so it's quite. I'm not sure what you're supposed to say the right genre is, but it's in that sort of
Or
area.
who's somewhat inspirations?
Yeah,
I
I mean, I love Elliott Smith and Nick Drake, and I like Ichiko Aoba, who's a kind of more modern person. I'm a bit of a dinosaur with my music tastes, but it's nice to have a few people now that I listen to who are still alive and I can see them. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's that sort of thing. I mean, I think like anyone, I like a lot of different types of music, but this is the stuff that I've ended up making because it suits my voice and my temperament and stuff like that.
And
But
typically, is your thing the songwriting? If you know what I mean, is that the thing you're most
yeah,
proud of?
100%. I love, yeah. I've been doing it a long time. I started, yeah, quite young, I guess 14 or something. Started writing things in my room. Um, I'd say initially when I was younger, that age, I really didn't like the sound of my singing voice because it was, I think when you're younger, especially at that age, or whatever, as a guy, I was wanting a loud kind of, I want to be in
Kurt Cobain or
played,
something.
or yeah, I don't know, yeah, I wanted to be in a rock band and
British
be
one,
exactly, yeah, but it sounded quite, I guess it sounds quite melancholy, the voice, and quite soft, well, very soft, and at the time that wasn't really what I was listening to, and I was kind of like, oh, I wouldn't want to show anyone what I was doing for a long time, so I think it took a good,
What age do you think you
I mean,
started
when
to share it?
20 plus, so I was doing it for a good 6 years before I would tell anyone I was doing anything. And even then, I don't think I started to really like what I was doing after at least, I don't know, 10 plus years of writing it, which sounds nuts actually, but it just took a long time for it to click, I think.
And I mean, were you also a drummer beforehand?
Yeah. That's
So-
originally that's what I was really wanting to do. I was obsessed with what I wanted to be, a session drummer. I was obsessed with all those kind of Steve Gadd kind of people in LA who do sessions and things. I would never, I don't think, have been good enough to do that, but that as a teenager is what I wanted. So a lot of what I was writing for was so that I could record drums to it and practice that. And
Oh, that
do
was it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm quite good at the other bit.
Yeah, in the end, I think I just being a drummer, you don't really have any control over what's going on. You can't choose the music very much, and you can't. If the band breaks up or the singer or whatever, you just don't have that much control. And I think in the end, it's just the other things stayed constant. I kept doing my own things, and eventually, after quite a long time, I started to think, oh, I actually prefer doing this now, and it's been developing for so long, it's turned into something I like doing.
Well, I mean, I could tell
Yeah.
from watching you that it sort of feels like the second you click into the song, you sort of enter this completely different world. And do you feel like music, in a sense, is the way you find it easiest to sort of express yourself?
Yeah.
In a sense?
100%. Yeah, definitely. I think for me, it's definitely something that's like soothing and escapism. I don't really like. Me personally, I wouldn't want to make really kind of jarring, kind of not ugly. That's mean. But that's what I mean. I like music that's really kind of beautiful sounding and
Yeah.
soft and yeah, that sort of thing. Because most of the time I'm just playing, sat on my bed, and trying to calm down.
Typically.
Do you know what I mean? That's kind of most of how I started writing all this stuff. I think you can. It's very, very quiet. The first time I went to a studio, I remember the guy being like, "This is too quiet. The way you're." I mean, you can get but it works. I like the way that sounds, and I'm definitely drawn to people like Elliott Smith or Nick Drake who make music that quiet. The same with Ishika Aoba, actually. But for sure, I think it's a way of processing things.
I mean, I don't want to touch on that too far, but I mean, in terms of, did you mention, like, I suppose ADHD is a part of your world, is it? I mean, how, when you're actually looking at the music, do you feel like music helps you channel those thoughts a bit?
Well, we were just chatting about that before,
Yeah.
but I haven't got diagnosed. I'm being assessed for it in a few weeks, which is not something I expected. But I don't know. I'd say it's not so much to do with that. I think it's like when I was younger, I guess it was a bit. My brother has learning disabilities and autism, and it was quite challenging for my parents. I had to spend a lot of time on my own from a really young age. So I do think that's why I make the music the way it is, because it's stuff to just calm yourself down and something to get lost in and to kind of block everything out and just stay in your room and do that. And I don't think I would have made that kind of music if it had been different growing up, I think, because it is really trying to squeeze as much out of one instrument as you can rather than going down playing with other people. It's the way I write is the product of sitting on your own for thousands of hours. Yeah.
I could see from the fingerstyle, like that doesn't come about.
Oh, it took ages. This is what I mean, where it's like I knew that I wanted something like that, but it took years to get to a point where I was able to do it technically and all of that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I think that is a big influence on it. And for me, it was always something just to go to your room, lock the door, and get lost in it. And we were saying before as well that I was looking back at the video of me playing and I kind of hunch over and all of that because I learnt to play sat on the bed like that, and I can't undo it, even though it's not good for me. I get sometimes I had to stop playing for a bit because I was getting the carpal tunnel or whatever, because you're not supposed to be playing like that. No classical guitar or any guitarist is doing that, but it's force of habit, isn't it?
It's your style, then, I suppose, in a sense. So maybe it just plays into what you're trying to do in a sense.
I suppose it's not good for the singing though, because you're supposed to be breathing and but I am trying to work on that a bit, I think.
What drew you to the classical guitar initially?
It just happened gradually.
Have you tried the electric?
Yeah. I would be lying if I said that I was like growing up listening to classical music. I wasn't at all. I was growing up listening to the Beatles and things like that, and rock music, that sort of thing. But I think I just got so into finger picking and learning patterns and learning scales and how to make the guitar sound like two people and all of that. And then if you do that long enough, it just ended up sounding like classical guitar. And then I tried it again on a classical guitar, and they're built for that style, so it worked. Also, because a regular guitar's got the tiny neck, and it's just quite hard on your fingers. as soon as I started playing on the classical guitar, it all kind of made sense. But
When did you find the classical guitar then?
Again, I think about 20, 25 maybe. About there. I'm pretty bad with dates and when things happen, roughly around that. And that's when it really started being like, oh, okay, this fits the way I write a lot better, and it hurts my fingers less.
And I only just noticed as you were playing actually. But does your tattoo, is that sort of part of your latest album as well?
No, someone else said that. It wasn't actually. That would be mad. No, I wouldn't do. That would be very committed to it, wouldn't it? No. It's the other way around, really. I already really like sunflowers. I grow them in the garden, and it's cheesy, isn't it? But it's me and my partner. I don't know what that one is. You can ignore that one. But it's supposed to be the two. There's a dead one at the back, but we don't have to think about that.
What is it about sunflowers?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, I can't give a good answer on that. I just always really like them, and I think there's something quite like psychedelic about them as well. There's loads of them in Mile Oak, and I think when we moved there, it was the first time we were just really settled there, and they make me think of that area and being kind of settled and happy with my partner in that area. And there's sunflowers in everyone's garden. It feels like that. So
it feels like home.
Yeah.
There you go for the
camera. I only got it quite recently, but yeah. No, I love it. No, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed. No, I've got a. This is actually quite funny. This one. It was supposed to be a Blackbird because I love the Beatles, but I was like 18 or something. I typed in black space bird and a crow came up, and I didn't bother to check if that was a real Blackbird. And so I went to there and got it. And then later on, someone was like, that's not a Blackbird, it's a crow. And I have to now just be like, I was like, oh, I did it on purpose because I like metal or something. I don't know. I had to pretend that it wasn't just a mistake. But no, I like that one too. But that's way older than this one.
I saw him last amongst the cornfields that stalk the sea along the cliff. Well, now you ask, he did seem nervous. thought I saw his wife behind him. I thought his boy was with them too. But now you say they haven't seen him, and I just walked away. Maybe he'll come around. Maybe that's him right now. I go there every day, searching through the golden maze, and I can't walk away. So now I'm here to ask forgiveness. I should have stayed to say hello. I saw him lost amongst the cornfields, and I just walked away. Maybe he'll come around. Maybe that's him right now. I go there every day, searching through the golden maze, and I can't walk away.
Earlier, actually, on going back to sort of the music, I suppose, sort
Yeah.
of the melody versus the lyrics. I
Yeah.
mean, typically, do you write a melody and then the lyrics come, or I mean, you write sort of folklore, don't you, in a sense?
Yeah, I think for me, the thing that clicked with it, I was writing for a long time and I wasn't really liking the things I was doing very long. Like I'd like them for a little bit. And then after about 6 months, I'm like, I don't want to play that song anymore. It doesn't resonate anymore. Yeah, I don't like it. And I think the thing that really influenced it was reading this author who's called Shirley Jackson. She's like, she writes, I guess you'd call it like short stories. They're kind of horror, I guess, but they're a bit like paranormal. But what she does that I thought might seem really obvious to other people, but for me, I only really got it when I started reading her stuff, is that she'll do these stories that have like a theme, a clear theme to the short story that is about her life. Like she was like a 40s or 50s housewife who really didn't fit in a New England village or whatever. Quite an art. She said she was a witch, things like that. Really things that in the 50s they were like, we don't like this.
No.
Had to stay at home all the time as a housewife. Couldn't, like, just felt really alienating things. But she turns that into these stories that are horror stories about people who are trapped or people who are alienated or haunted houses, things like that.
But it's somehow linked.
But it's so obviously linked to her life. And I think for me, that suddenly was just like, oh, that's how you do it, for me anyway, and still like the song later, rather than just being like, I've moved on from that problem. You take the theme of it and go like, whatever, I'm feeling guilty about something, and you write a story that has the theme of guilt or whatever, or it doesn't have to be a negative emotion like that. That's just one of the ones I play. Exactly, yeah. And you make a story or a situation or a character that represents, and you use your own feelings to do it, but you make something else out of it. And I only really clicked with that when I started reading her stories.
So I mean, you actually just played us 2 songs, Blue Emily and I Saw Him Last. Do either of those songs connect in that sort of?
Yeah,
story?
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Both of them, or
Both of them. That's why I thought it would be
start
good
with
to.
Blue Emily then?
Yeah.
How does that sort of connect in that way?
So it's like, it's a little bit more difficult to talk about this one because I don't want to talk about other, it's about someone else's thing, if you know what I mean. Like,
Okay, well,
it's about, no, it's all right. I'll say it kind of more abstractly, but like, it's about kind of really caring for someone who's depressed, if you know what I mean, or unwell. It doesn't have to be mental health related. It can be, it's not just about one person, I guess. It's a bunch of different times I've been in that situation. But then I didn't want to just be like, oh, it's a diary, I'll say exactly what's going on. So it's like a kind of, it feels a bit like a fairy tale about someone who's kind of in love with someone who's trapped, and they're trying to free them, I suppose. It makes it sound really cheesy, but I tried to make it not cheesy. And it's like, I guess it's more about the feeling of having someone that you really care about who's separated from you and you're not sure how to help them.
And perhaps you just can't, no matter what you try.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And about the frustration.
Yourself almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's about that kind of the frustration of wanting to cheer someone up, I suppose, or make them feel better, feel healthy, or any of that sort of thing. Yeah, and I think I got the essence of that without writing like really specific things about because I don't really like writing about other people, and it's not, I don't think that feels right to turn someone else's thing into your own song that you're singing to strangers. And I don't think I did that in that one. There's no actual, you don't know anything about me from listening to it other than the themes and the emotions of it, which is the way I prefer songs in general, if I'm honest.
Actually, Blue Emily is from your self-titled album as well, and I was quite interested sort of ask why that album felt right as a self-titled album, if that makes sense.
I see what you mean. So like loads and loads of musicians in the lockdown had loads of time to write things, and wrote loads and loads of songs and recorded them kind of in the bedroom or whatever. But where I live, there's a bus route that goes past every 5 minutes.
What number is it?
Number 1 and the 1X. Yeah, they're good. But it was a bit of a frustrating thing to record, I suppose, because of that, because it's really quiet music, and if the bus goes past, the whole song's ruined. So I kind of like, I liked the results, but I didn't love it. And I'd say half of that album, I then wrote a bunch, like 5 more that I was like, they're better than half of the last one. So I thought, instead of, I don't know, scrap, I took the ones that I really liked from the first one and the new ones, and then went and did it properly in a studio, just me on my own. Studios, Church Road Studios in Hove, and I love going there. Julian's the guy I record with; it's brilliant. Just as a yeah, I got to mention him because he is amazing. Actually, I love working with him. And
what does he do for you then? He's doing the.
So as in like.
While you're playing, he's.
Yeah, so I'll set up. I mean, it's not that similar to this space, but it's quite a big room-ish, bit smaller than this. You just set up. He'll set up loads of mics I could never afford. Great desk. There's no bus going past. All of that, so I can just play. That one was all done live, and I guess it all just felt a bit like, it's just me. So it just felt like it was, calling it just my name I felt like it made sense because there's nothing added onto it at all. It's just me playing in a room. And I'm really proud of that one because I think I'm quite impatient with the albums. And usually once I've done double figures worth, I'm just like, get it out. But that one I had to wait because of the lockdown, and I think I ended up with, like, it's really consistent and there's no songs in it where I feel like, that one's a bit of not a filler, that's mean. But I'm just really proud of it. Took a long time
and I
to
mean,
write.
all your albums, are they all recorded within studios after you've home recorded it, or some of them home recordings?
So after I did that one, I was just like, this is so much better.
Oh right. Well,
so the next one, Carnival, I did all with Julian at Church Road. So much fun, brilliant. But the one I'm doing at the moment is kind of a bit of both. So I'm recording the guitars at home and the singing at home, but I'm doing the extra instruments like drums and getting other people in to record at his studio because I think partly also because the songs are getting harder to play, having to do it to a click track. It's really stressful in a studio where you're paying by the hour. So I think just doing it at home made sense to try and kind of have enough time to do it and not be rushing it and not have to settle for something that has mistakes in. because I've run out of time and it's
I'd love to touch on the second song you did for us as well. I saw him
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
What's the sort of idea behind that?
I used to work in the coroners and the NHS. This is really dark. I'm actually doing like inquests into kind of suicides in mental health NHS hospitals, and you're doing like the statements with the practitioners and things like that, where they all feel really guilty about things that weren't really their fault. And I think that's quite like it definitely stuck with me, and it's something that I think is kind of relatable to a lot of people, where you can really go over things and feel guilty about things that you really shouldn't be. And again, it's like taking that as a theme, making a short story out of it, of someone who, I mean, it's clearly influenced by the stuff I was doing there, where they were the last person to see someone. It doesn't say what happened to them, but it's the person feeling like this is all my fault because I didn't do something when I saw them. But really, you're just passing someone.
You sort of feel that energy.
I don't know. It's just trying to make something out of that idea or the feeling. Like a lot of them, you can move them or can reduce them down into like it's one theme, and that one's his guilt. I think. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Blue Emily's is like.
And think of a certain energy of emotion within a song, try and pack it in.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like I'm really into music theory. I love music theory. I know that's not a very popular thing to say, but I like putting lots of key changes in a very small period of time, so that there's bits where it feels happy, bits where it feels sad, and it moves so quickly through these different things that you're not left with a bit of a feeling of like, what was that? Was that a happy song or a sad song? And I like how
that leaves that sort of feeling.
Yeah, I've had gigs where the same audience, if someone comes up to you, someone can come up there and like, oh, that was really dreamy and relaxing. Someone can say, oh, it sounds like kind of Beatles from the White Album or something. And then someone else can be like, that's too depressing, I don't like it. I've had all of those reactions, and they've all seen the same gig, which I think is a good sign for me, because what I want is to make songs that make people think about themselves, not about me. I don't really want people sat thinking about me at all. I want them to. That's what I like about music, is when it really takes you off into your own mind and your own feelings, rather than actually thinking about the person on stage. I don't think that's.
I suppose using the folklore means that people can sort of take of it as they will. It's not so like I, but it's like they can pick into the story and they're like, this is me in the story, maybe. Or something.
No, 100%. But also, I think that's really interesting. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm saying that any way of writing is wrong. There's some amazing songs that are done in a kind of confessional way, but I do feel that in this genre of music, it feels a little bit like people have forgotten there's any other way to write other than doing a kind of ugly diary entry, honesty. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not having to go at people who do that, but like going back to the Shirley Jackson thing, I'd rather have her stories than her writing a diary that she published that's very kind of cutting and honest. I think it's richer and more creative to try and turn it into something, rather than just straight up saying what's going on in your life. And I think that's harder to connect with other people unless they're literally having exactly the same experience as you. I really like doing stuff where I like it when you can talk to people and they're talking about things that clearly come from them and are nothing to do with what I was thinking about, or is like maybe just off.
I saw that song was going.
Yeah, or just people saying that it made them think about this sort of thing or that, and it's like it's had some impact on them that's made them think about themselves rather than I'm really not interested in the idea of someone sitting and thinking about me. I kind of would feel that would be a failure.
Well, it does sound like, from what I'm hearing, is that, I know you don't like to make about other people, but you're very socially observant as well, would you say?
Yeah. I work as a social worker. That's my job. I love people. I love just sitting and watching people in cafe. That makes me sound weird, but I do. Yeah.
Well, everyone does it.
I love. That's why I do my job. Is I like going around and meeting as many people as possible, and I really enjoy it. I like doing that. Like I said before, I would never write a song about someone that I worked with or any of that. That's not okay, I don't think. But I do think, the energy of it and the tone of it clearly influences, I think, some of the atmosphere. I don't think all the music's really sad, though, personally. I hope people don't think that. I think maybe the two that I played for this are...
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but...
The entry into it, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But
I mean, actually...
Some of them are just love songs, and some of them are just... It's not all sad.
Well, that comes on nicely to sort of our last question, which I sometimes like to ask, which is, if you were to put yourself as your 15-year-old self and you were going to share to them the song you're potentially like most proud of now that you'd love to share to your 15-year-old self, what song might that be?
Okay, that's a
mean,
good question. I like that.
You've got
Yeah.
a good amount of work though, so it's tough to
Yeah.
say.
Okay. I think I would do. I got a song on the most recent one called "Glass Child," which, to be honest, is my like it is more like the thing I just said I didn't like people doing, which is more personal, I guess. But it's done in a way that's a bit blurred. Like I think people listen to it and got totally the wrong end of the stick of what it's about. Other people have been like, they nailed it. But it's it's the most personal one, but it's done in a way that I still love, like a year later, when I didn't think I'd get to doing. And musically, I think of my as 15-year-old who was learning open chords and playing really simple. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, look at this.
I honestly think, yeah, I don't think that I'm particularly like naturally talented at music. I think I've just worked really hard. I think the first maybe 100 songs I wrote were the worst 100 songs anyone's ever written. And I think it would be nice as a 15-year-old to see that it can go in that direction if you keep working, I guess. But yeah, I'm really proud of that one. I think that's, as music, that one's my favorite for sure. I was really proud of that one. And it came quite quickly, which is usually not the case for mine. Usually they take ages. But I think that's quite a good sign.
I suppose that feels like a good way to finish. Of course, you're going to check out the 2 songs we recorded, but if you were to go into deep dive into your work, you'd go to Carnival to that song.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. I mean, if anyone's going to listen, I don't mind which one you want to listen to. There's a few of them. It's difficult. The songs that seem to be the most popular are all ones that I can't play because they were too hard. I don't do them live, so I feel a bit like it would be good to do the ones that people seem to like the most on streaming stuff. But I don't know, I can't do it. My fingers hurt too much.
I suppose you don't know what's going to be.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Do you find, does it surprise you ever when certain?
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Yeah, no, definitely. I don't really understand why the one. If you go on the Spotify or whatever, the one that's the most popular was not the one I thought people would like the most at all. But yeah, I don't really mind. I'm really grateful anyone's listening. I was doing this a long time with maybe 10 listeners a year. So I am not complaining. I'm not complaining about anyone. I don't really understand why. That's not fair. I've worked hard on it, but I'm just grateful anyone's listening to it, really.
Well, look, Nick, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for coming on All Aboard.
Thank you. No, thanks for having me.
I look forward to hearing your next album as well.
Yeah. That's cool. That's going to be good.
Be out, do you think?
I've done most of the tracks and I'm hiring jazz musicians to play on it. I want to change everything about it. Okay. Yeah. Because I kind of done two that are vaguely similar style, but I think there's been a couple of albums I can think of where they've mixed folk with jazz. And they did it great. Yeah, love that. Yeah. Exactly. And what's the guy? Jeff Buckley, Tim Buckley's dad. Jeff Buckley's dad, Tim Buckley, does one. Yeah. Blue Afternoon or Blue Cat. Yeah, I think that's great, but it doesn't quite. I think there's more you can do with that, and people haven't really done it. So it feels quite new for me anyway. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to feel like I'm saying it. Yeah, I know I'm pleased with it. I think it's going to be good. And I got to play drums on it this time, and it's a bit maybe more. Sounds more like a band rather than one guy in a room. Yeah. It's. I'm excited about it, but it's just taken ages. I feel like once you can see the ending, I just slow down so much.
And it's suddenly like, well, I don't know if this wants to come out.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Let's
bring it out to the world.
Yeah, I think it'll be within a year.
Okay. I won't tell anyone a time frame then.
Yeah. Well, I'm close to finishing. Well, I'm close to getting to the point where I can bring other people on to play on it. I like the songs are done with the lyrics and the melodies and the chords, apart from 2, and then I've recorded that. Actually, no, it's further on than I'm saying. Actually, to be fair, but I've got to find the right people to play on it and the right kind of instruments. Like which ones are going to work better. Yeah, it's exciting. I like it. I think it's really cool.
Well, I'm looking forward to the new direction.
Yeah.
And hopefully everyone really enjoys what we've created here. This has been Nick Austin and All Aboard Presents.
Thanks for having me.